Fast forward to then 1994, 22% of Americans had a college degree. So it was like, ooh, wow. Today, 44% of Americans have a college degree. There's no real oomph. 58% of recent college grads are still looking for a job. That's never happened to college grads ever.
Another thing, because this gets me heated, unless you've been on a job search in the last 2 years, you do not know how bad it is out here. The job market is trash, basura, it's been bad. I'm talking about applying to 20 jobs a day, reaching out to recruiters, doing this on LinkedIn, and hearing crickets. People are trying, people are not lazy. And then people who have a job give the most useless advice, like, why don't you tailor your resume to every single job? You don't think that I've done that? Unless your job is hiring and you have a referral, zip it.
Zip it. I love that video so much. Why are we giving 20th century advice in the 21st century? Because listen, I'm creating this video because I'm so over us talking about everything but what's real. I'm seeing comments where people are saying, oh, the master's degree is a new bachelor's degree. And now they're saying, oh, you need to hand deliver your resume. Or better yet, the biggest thing right now is get ready because AI is taking over. You guys are doing exactly what they want you to do, which is drink the Kool-Aid from 30 years ago. It's October 2025 and the unemployment rate has been rising since 2024. There are little to no federal jobs. We can't even get a jobs report because the Fed is shut down. There are little to none private sector jobs because of a ton of layoffs the last 2 years. However, you do see a lot of job postings online. Even things like Uber is not profitable anymore. So the whole I'm quitting my job for freedom is on edge because contractors and entrepreneurs need people to spend. But if no one has a job or income, then what is happening to jobs in America? And this is where politics and money go hand in hand. And we don't need to talk politics in this video today. But instead of everyone I'm saying employers and the media, which I get why they don't because it is a conflict. But I need you guys to understand, okay, that instead of them just saying the cost of business is too high in America because of tariffs, the H-1B visas, the proposed tax levies, the cost to borrow money is high. Consumers are not spending. Just say that you want to continue making money and get cheaper labor overseas. Instead, they are saying it's AI and everyone's believing it. AI is the cover up what we're going to talk about in this video today. So you guys know your girl is a licensed mortgage lender helping people refinance and purchase nationwide. If you need help, my info is in the description below. Shameless plug. Okay. The first thing we need to talk about is AI is not taking American jobs. Offshoring is. And I know you don't remember, but back in the 1900s, in the 1990s, I swear I thought we were going to be like the Jetsons and have flying cars by 2030. And we don't, which means there's no way. Do you guys think from 2000 and 2025 we figured out a way for computers to do everyone's job? We still don't have self-driving cars. I don't think. Tesla people, let me know. Which is why I'm saying this is merely a political thing, aka a way to cover up and distract you from the fact that employers can and are getting better and cheaper talent overseas, which now that I think about it, the whole H-1B visa change that went into effect September 2025, which now requires employers to spend a $100,000 fee for new applicants to come and work in the US. But my thing is, instead of bringing workers here for $100K through a formal process through the government, why wouldn't they just set up operations over there? The $100K fee was meant to deter companies from hiring overseas and to keep jobs here, but you don't think employers are just going to circumvent their process and go directly to India? And India specifically because we all know India, or this is a fact, last year alone, India generated $200 billion for their IT sector. Half of it was derived from U.S. corporations. Offshoring. So I came across this article in Reuters where this a very large immigration attorney for large corporations pretty much goes into says what I'm saying. I have had several conversations with corporate clients where they have said this new fee is simply unworkable in the US, and it's time for us to start looking for other countries where we can have highly skilled talent. And these are very large companies, some of them household names, Fortune 100 type companies that are saying, oh my goodness, we just simply cannot continue. Then it goes on to say about 141,000 new applications for H-1B were approved in 2024, though Congress caps new visas at 65,000 a year. Companies were already weighing an expansion in India before the new visa fee disrupted hiring. And so, you guys, let's look at this chart, because let's not forget that since 2022, Amazon has laid off more than 27,000 workers, but they were approved for 10,000 visas in just 1 year alone. Okay, so correct me if I'm wrong, but H-1B visas are good for 3 years. So this number of approvals is just that. It doesn't mean that Amazon only gets 10,000 workers or only has 10,000 workers like over time. This is just each year they get this approval number. Okay. And really, why I'm thinking about this, if AI was such a problem, why are they trying to also pass this legislation to add a 25% tax on services sent overseas? You know, and I don't want to bore you guys to death with some of these details, but as I mentioned, India generates over $200 billion in revenue for IT services. Half of comes from the US. So this has already been happening. Going back to this article in Reuters, though Congress caps new visas at 65,000 a year, total approvals run higher because petitions from universities and some other categories are excluded from this cap. Why? Which leads me to my next point. Why are we doing 20th century things in the 21st century? No disrespect to higher education. I have higher ed degrees. I have an MBA. But who needs that anymore? Unless you're freaking studying, I don't know, neuroscience. A degree today is not the same as when our parents were our age. It doesn't even have the same value as 15 years ago. And you know what? We're about to have class right now, because we can all agree that education means to acquire knowledge, right? But education began as a thing to train men to be clergy and leaders. And then it progressed to where it's kind of ironic, because when production and manufacturing picked up, they needed factory workers, right? But they also needed engineers and accountants and business leaders. And so then it became this elite thing, which fast forward to then 1994, 22% of Americans had a college degree. So it was like, ooh, wow. Today, 44% of Americans have a college degree. There's no real oomph. Let's take a look at this chart from Georgetown University that shows you the average college cost versus average earnings. And you know what? Not to beat everybody up, because I'm guilty of this too. We get on the internet, we look at all types of things, we consume all types of things, but some of the like really important life-changing things, we just skip over it. We're like, I don't, show me a photo of some shoes. Forget this data. 1980 versus today. And a whole nother topic, people get mad when they want to defund universities, okay? Why have universities been able to raise the cost so much? What miraculous thing has changed in the curriculum to where the cost of education is, look at this chart, 160% over, and this just goes back to 1980. The chart of college costs are like this. The earnings is like this. What are we doing? I'm putting myself into this too, because I got a couple degrees, but I'm a little older. This is for my Gen Z people. What are we doing? And I'm bringing parents into this, which I'm going to touch on here in a second. But back to my history lesson on education. What I'm saying is we need to adapt on how we define education.
I don't, this whole schools don't teach anything useful. The whole purpose of education is not to prepare somebody for a specific job. The purpose of education is to become educated so that you are adaptable in any type of employment that you have. And that's why the focus now is on 21st century competencies, teaching kids to be critical thinkers, teaching them to be collaborative. We don't know what jobs they're going to go into, and no one can predict what the jobs 50 years from now are going to look like. But what we can do is help students become adaptable learners so that when they get out into the world, they actually have the skills to be in any type of employment, balancing a checkbook. God almighty.
It's good to hear from an educator's point of view. An educator who has not been, I don't want to use the word manipulated, but controlled, because this is a whole nother conversation. A lot of educators have either quit or are frustrated because education has become a way for people to not teach innovation, not teach critical thinking. It's like, I mean, you guys see it, some of your kids' work. The math problem has to be solved this way. Why? If we arrive at the same answer, why? And so let me get back on track. Listen, I like I said, I'm not above this. I have an MBA degree, a finance degree. I've had the best jobs. And guess what, though? The most money I've ever made came from something that does not require a degree, my mortgage business. There's no point in MBAs today. There's no point of bachelor's before law school. There's no point of some of these degrees that you can get, some of these majors. And quite frankly, we have to come to grips on that. Okay. And as a parent to the coolest 14-year-old, I did go off to college, go IU. I do think going off to college is good for leaving the nest. It's a good experience. It's great for people between the ages of 18, 20 to 22. You're not, you have your whole life to pay bills. That's the one time in life where you look to your left, you look to your right, and you're surrounded by like-minded people your age. But the thing is, parents forget to tell their kids school does not teach you how to make money. We have to stop being so freaking modest and wet behind the ears, because number one, money is very important. So I don't want to hear that, oh, money's not everything. Yes, shut up. Yes, it is. Okay, it's not everything, but it's top of the list behind God and family and health. You need it. And at the same time, I don't believe in the hustle culture either, where, kids are being pressured or feel the need to be these superstars or millionaires at the age of 22. That's not what I'm saying. But this leads me to my last point on gain a high paying skill. Okay. You know how many videos I've seen where young people are applying to Subway, to work at Subway, to be a dog walker, and they have degrees from freaking MIT and Yale. Like, what are you doing? Even if you have a degree from up the street, what are you doing? Once again, the old school advice is going to say, oh, keep applying, apply. Go work at the store up the street, plus apply. So if you are young and unemployed, build high paying skills, not freaking dog walking. And you know what? Before I put my foot in my mouth, use discretion, because you could create a dog walking business that explodes. But what I'm saying is, if you're an accounting major, find someone who you can do their books for free. As a lender, do you know how many people make really good money but have terrible bookkeeping skills? Or who have accountants who are not CPAs. So that's kind of a thing of the past too. Just a little bit. You're a finance major or engineering major. Freaking teach people how to do Microsoft Excel. Go online. You know how many people in finance and accounting are, they're okay, but they could be better. And what I want my young people to understand, what you have on your side is I like to think that younger people are not so conditioned to be so perfect. You guys don't have large bills. You guys get online and create these silly videos. There's so much silver lining. If there's a young person watching, if you're good at editing, I would pay someone to edit my YouTube videos. Drop me a line. I don't even have the time to look for one. I should create it, but drop me a line. You know, I'm just saying, I do get a little passionate because I totally understand. I see what's going on, and enough of this whole AI and, oh, now you got to change your resume. Switch it up, you guys. Switch it up. And thankfully, most of you, I pray, have parents who you can go move back in with, because that leads me to another thing, like the impact of Gen Z not getting jobs. A lot of them are moving back home now. What do you guys think about jobs today? And that leads me to the impact of jobs on housing. With home prices coming down in some areas, parents can't go under now, because if they have their 22-year-olds, their 40-year-olds moving back home, what do you think is going to happen? They can't let it go. It's too much at stake now. And actually, that may be another video, how everyone is moving in with each other, okay, which could be a good thing, on people's pockets. Of course, could be a good thing on, of course, people's pockets, but families sticking together a little more. So you guys, drop me some comments. What do you think about this video? Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.